Good day to everyone from the 94 Forward video storytelling sessions. My name is John Juricic, and I'm joined by quite a few people today. John MacMillan, how are you?
Good day, sir.
Yes, fantastic. You are the president of 94 Forward. And Maddy, you're a skateboarding coach, I understand.
Yep.
And
Morning.
and and a skateboarding coach of what? Of like a national team or a provincial team or
Yeah, I do a little bit of work with the Canadian development team, and then I have my own skateboard, I guess coaching company you would call it, called MB Skate School. So I work with that as well, and
okay.
94, of course.
And 94 Forward, of course. And we have an athlete. We have a skateboarder with us. Hi, Copper.
Hi, John.
Yeah, great to have you with us. We're going to get a few stories from you. All right. Well, I think I'll go straight to Maddy. Tell us about the 94 for not 94 for the 94 Forward program and skateboarding and why is it here? Why is it nowhere else? Why is 94 Forward doing it? Those kind of things.
Yeah, that's a great question. So 94 Forward, obviously the whole purpose of 94 Forward is to build a generation of talent. And so they're working towards helping skateboarding do that. Skateboarding is a really new Olympic sport. It's only had two Olympics now. So when 94 Forward was looking for sports to invest into, they determined that skateboarding was a really good one because we don't necessarily have all of the help we need right now. Not that any Canadian sport does, but we definitely have less funding than something like maybe soccer. So we are super appreciative of the support that 94 Forward has brought to skateboarding so far. And yeah, basically right now what we're doing is we're running a bunch of training camps, different things where like athletes are coming in from across the country. We're trying to find and highlight different talents, bring them into Victoria and see what sort of training we can get done. Right now with Copper and the three other athletes, we're actually doing a 30-day fall intensive. So they've flown in, they're doing their schoolwork kind of remotely while they're here in Victoria, and then we are working on coaching for 30 days, which has been amazing so far.
Well, isn't that a fabulous story? Copper, you're from back east?
Yeah, I'm from Gatineau, Quebec, like near Ottawa area.
Okay. And are you liking Victoria so far? It's been not bad weather, eh?
No, it's really nice here. Like everything, the buildings are nice. There's like the sports facilities. Like I've seen like so many soccer fields and just stuff like that, and it just looks so fun.
Yeah, exactly. What about this 94 Forward program and Maddy's coaching and the coach's contributions is going to make you a better skateboarder? What is it about this program that we're going to be watching you holding a medal down the road? Well, clearly weather, I mean, right? Because
Hmm.
you can skate the whole time during September, which is great. And I guess you learn how to skate in rain. Is that important?
No skating. That's definitely not a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, look at me. Okay, so the here would be the typical person watching, and you're not going to skate in rain. I've watched some of these skateboarders on Olympics. It's extraordinary, extraordinary stuff you do. Like you're actually gymnasts that are on skateboards. Is that right? Is that kind of how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, it's same, but different, I suppose. You definitely need to have some pretty crazy agility skills. I would say the tumbling side of gymnastics, the fact that, you can roll out when you fall and stuff like that, because some of the rails and things that we're skating are pretty large. So if you don't land on your board, you need to be able to land on your feet and kind of roll out of that safely. It's definitely one of the most important parts of skateboarding is being able to fall in a controlled and safe manner.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what is it about this program that's going to put Canadian skateboarders at a national level? Clearly, we know why. For example, hockey. We have the best hockey teams in the world. because they're coaching all the time and they have the best coaches, and we have cold weather, etc. And various other sports. Why skateboarding? What is it going to? What are we doing now that's going to really set us apart from other countries in their development in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great start. What 94 Forward is doing is a huge start. I would say one of the biggest struggles that we have in Canada is actually the lack of indoor facilities. Of course, we're going up against countries like Brazil, the States, anywhere where it's hot year round, where they can skate outside year round. For us, 5 months of the year is essentially not skatable. Depending on where you're from, in Vancouver, there's not really any indoor facilities, not a ton. But the support that 94 Forward is giving us is, say, they're bringing somebody like Copper or McKenna from somewhere where it's a lot different weather out here to Victoria. The season for skateboarding is a lot better out here. And then also yesterday, for example, we had a pretty rainy day. So we actually ferried over to Vancouver, and there's this small indoor skate park in Tsawwassen out there. And they basically gave us the opportunity to go train there. And just yesterday, Copper learned like 4 new tricks. So like that progression already is helping so much.
Wow, that's fabulous. Well, why don't we talk to the funder and the visionary, John MacMillan? What do you think about all these questions I'm peppering these two young folks with?
Well, thank you for having us once again, and it's great to be able to spotlight the work that we're doing in skateboard and a couple of the great folks that we've met through this. We started with skateboard on a cold call, and it's really grown from there. So we've gotten to know the people that work at Canada Skateboard, and probably 40 to 50 athletes from across the country. And the gap, one of the gaps for sure, is uh, formal trained coaches. So we have Maddy here with us, and we have Adam Hopkins coming in another week, and these are our athletes who are, they're never going to admit that they're finished their competitive careers. So you always got to watch yourself with that one. But they are really moving into that coaching space, and coaching skateboarding is pretty much a blank canvas. So I think what we've got going is we leverage the climate in the facilities, and we take a couple of key ingredients, which is some folks who are really keen at becoming coaches and do a great job, and put them in environments with the athletes, and then really just get out of the way. And so this intensive period that Copper's here for is 30 days straight, and that's with a small group, and then we're going to do another 30-day intensive with another small group. And this is an experiment. We haven't done this before. It's a complement to the shorter camps that we do. And so when we're finished, we'll assess and we'll see, did we get the right kind of impact that we were looking for, and did the athletes feel like it was a positive growth opportunity? And if they did, then we, just to keep it simple, we really want to be in the rinse and repeat business.
Mm-hmm.
And then the athletes and the coaches from there will determine, how much effort they want to put in, where is their ambition level, how high do they want to shoot. And really, we're just in the early stages of doing that. But the group we have here right now is fantastic, and they're training every single day. We've surrounded them with a whole bunch of other stimulus. So they're meeting with one of our current top triathletes, Martin Sobey, to talk athlete to athlete. They did that a couple of weeks ago. They met with Veronica Planea, who's a sports psychologist, and they did that last week. They're meeting with Jackson Congdon, who's an elite diver. And so we're getting all that athlete to athlete sharing, and what do you do in your sport, and trying to create that learning environment. So it's been going pretty good, and they're certainly working hard. Week 2 was the tough week, and now they're into week 3, and week 3 is when you really start to make your progress.
Yeah. Wow. This is fascinating. And so this is a new strategy, I take it, this sort of 30-day intensive activity. Do you get weekends off? No? It's straight?
Sundays we get off, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you get to watch NFL football. My favorite. I love NFL football. Okay. Um, now let's just dig a little deeper into this. Have you expanded this type of coaching into other sports, John? Or is this sort of the test ground here with the skateboarders?
This is unique for skateboarding, and we think it's a good fit for skateboarding. We I'm not sure that we would do this necessarily with triathlon. We do other forms of programming, so we will do something similar with mountain bike, and that's going to be
Okay.
coming up over the next 5 6 months. The mountain bikers are arriving starting in the next few weeks. That will be a similar model in this intensive form.
Okay. Well,
So
what?
you should ask Copper what a day is like.
Absolutely. Tell us.
What are
Well,
they doing in a day?
it does sound like it starts off with either a hot chocolate or a coffee or soup or something.
This is tea from the
Oh, gee.
billet.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Um, Basically, we start off the day. Sometimes we'll go. I mean, at least today, we're going to Pisces. That's a training facility for people, I think of.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, we're going there. We're gonna do some little mobility exercises, warm ups, like learn stretches that we can do at home when we get back, and then hop in the ice bath and then the warm bath after today. And then I
Okay.
guess usually the other days we'll sometimes we'll have a meeting in the morning on Monday, talk about the week, and then we'll go to the skate park, have a warm up, talk about our goals for the day or the week, and try and achieve them.
Yeah. That's intensive. I mean, I've run a bazillion businesses in my lifetime. I don't know if I could do something so intense like that. I need breaks all over the place. How does that then, Maddie, so the 30 days here, how does that now extend after he goes home and the skaters go home? Like, what's the continuum that goes on through the year?
Yeah, so essentially right now I'm trying to give them a framework on how they can take basically start from the basics with a trick and then take that and progress it to a level that we can put that into a contest run or at least in the best trick format. So in skateboarding, just to kind of backtrack on that a little bit, in the Olympics, the format is you get two runs that are timed and then five best trick attempts. And they take one of your runs and I believe three of your best trick attempts. So you need to have not only consistent skateboarding, but also really technical and kind of like a crowd wowing trick, for
Mm,
lack of a better term,
mhm.
that's going to score high so you can get those points. So, working with them right now to kind of put these tricks into runs, but also really progressing technical tricks that we can take to the big section so that when they're faced with that sort of format, they're ready. So then they can take this kind of framework that I've laid out for them, take my advice on what tricks I think they would thrive on, what tricks I think they should be working to develop, and then work on that continuously throughout the winter until hopefully I see them again.
Okay. Is that potentially the plan, John, to bring back these athletes in the spring or something for another sort of comprehensive training?
The intensives are really helping to fill out what is now an annual calendar for us.
Ah,
So we really have some options quite the way through. We ran winter programming last year, which was an experiment. So that's a January camp, 4 or 5 mini camps through February, and then a March break camp. And that went pretty well. So we're going to redo some version of that. So what we're doing right now is really the question mark was around the fall and what should we do? Because there's a lot of action in the summer. So if this gets this sort of sign of approval from the athletes and coaches, then we'll probably repeat it. We go into other options in the winter, and then that leads into spring, summer stuff. So we've got quite a few options and opportunities. And then from there, it really is down to athlete decisions as to whether they're going to keep coming back and immersing themselves. But many of the skateboarders, as with the triathletes, have been to Victoria now with our options 4, 5, 6 times already. So
Wow. Wow.
the
Okay.
it's the easiest form of validation, and the most important metric from our perspective is return visits. Now,
Yes.
if you're in Calgary versus in Gatineau, accessing Victoria may be more challenging. It's obviously more expensive. We try and make it pretty low cost when they get here through the investment that we make. And some of that's, those decisions have to be made on a family by family basis. But I think we're doing a pretty good job of keeping that community in touch with each other and creating some momentum around the moving that performance bar amongst a group that are range in age from sort of 8, 9, 10 years old up to about 20, 21 years old. So on a broad scope, I think it's moving nicely. We'll see how that evolves over the next 2, 3 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's got to be leading edge globally. Like comparatively speaking to Maddie and John, are there similar training type constructs across the world where you can go, hey, you studied that and it worked, or are you guys really blazing the trail here? You guys being 94 Forward.
There's very little else offered in Canada for sure. Other countries might be defined by, in Japan, for example, the Japanese Federation they have quite a bit of money to invest in that sport. Canada Skateboard does not, so they're pretty limited on what they can do, and so we're there working with them to help deliver the programming and get guidance and advice from Canada Skateboard. So we're sort of doing these things together, and it's the only thing going in Canada, and so that's where we started. You got to start somewhere, so we have.
Yes. Maddie, you were wanting to say something, I think.
Yeah, no, I think John really, really got it there. It's just has to do a lot with the government and the federation and how it's funded, just because it is such a new sport. So hopefully that'll change going forward. But for now, as I said earlier, like without 94 Forward, these athletes would really not have anything. So this is so, so important for the development of skateboarding and keeping it, again, developing that generation of talent over the next few years is just going to be so important.
That's amazing. Why don't we're getting close to the end of our chat. Explain to me, please, where's the competitions that we can all look forward to viewing or seeing in the next year, for example?
I guess most of like the AM competitions in the US. So like Phoenix AM, Tampa AM, I guess that kind of bracket. And then I guess in Canada competitions, Jackalope and like Mississauga and maybe Montreal. And
Okay,
then nationals if there is one.
right. And are
Um,
those generally speaking in the spring? Like,
um, they're all spread around.
okay,
Usually they're not during like December to March
okay,
time frame,
right.
but from there, that's when I think most competitions start.
Well, I'm sure that we'll have you folks on again, and we'll be able to review maybe closer to a competition. Certainly, I'd love to hear how all of this, these uh, coaching constructs and strategies that 94 Forward are putting forward are working. That would be great to hear. So we'll chat about this again. John, I understand you're not in Victoria as we're speaking. You're somewhere else. Did you want to reflect upon that before we go?
Well, yes, I'm taking the call from Toronto, and so I've ducked out of Victoria and left Maddie and others in charge there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm going to have the opportunity to meet with our good friend Dr. Tim Jackson from Jackson Leadership. While I'm here, he's done a bunch of work with our programs, and we're working on the next piece with him, which is really going to be around measuring our impact in programs like this. So we want to get somebody from outside of the immediate staff who's going to be able to look at programs, debrief the athletes and coaches with a professional format. So I'm talking to him in a few hours, which is going to be great. He's been out to Victoria a bunch. And I'm also meeting with a gentleman who was deeply involved in setting up the 2015 Pan Am Games when they were here in Toronto, and the legacy components from the Pan Am Games. So we're, in the legacy business.
Mhm.
They've done some legacy stuff. So if you're going to be in that racket, good to trade notes and hear
Yes.
what others are doing and thinking and how it's gone. And we'll share a bit of what we're up to. And I'm sure I'll pick up a few things. So
Yeah, well,
yeah, it's
these
going to
other
be.
folks are going to pick up a lot from you, because 94 Forward is, if not the most successful competition legacy program in the world right now. And so I hope that they are as excited about talking to you as you are to them. Hey, this has been wonderful. To thank you to all of you. A glimpse into a world that many of us don't know about. And that's a good portion of why we're doing this, is to broaden the reach, broaden the experience into the community. Thank you very much. You know that we'll talk to you all again soon.
Thanks, John.
Absolutely. Yes.